Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. This is the latest installment of our Professional Services monthly webinar series. Today, we'll be taking a look at what's new in Costpoint 8.1, which is becoming soon from Deltek. Next slide, please. Very briefly, we'd just like to touch on a little bit about NeoSystems. NeoSystems has four main lines of business. The first is our newest line of business, which is managed security, where we offer full start to finish CMMC compliance and supply chain readiness services. Our second line of business is hosting, where we've got a FedRAMP ready FISMA moderate cloud, where we host several hundred clients. We meet all the main security regulations that government contractors need to abide by. The third line of business is where we got our start 18 years ago, managed services. We offer full-blown outsourced accounting, IT, and human capital management services. The fourth line of business is really what we're here to talk about today. We're a systems integrator. We provide implementations, upgrades, integrations, and extensibilities, system reviews, all around a purpose-built set of partners, including Deltek, SAP Concur, Workday Adaptive Planning, and UKG. Next slide, please. Now I'd like to hand off to our presenter today, Susan Mitchell, who's the Vice President of Professional Services ERP Systems at NeoSystems. Susan?
Thank you, Don. So welcome, everyone. And today we're here to talk about Costpoint 8.1, which I won't lie, I'm very excited about. The pre-release notes are out, and we wanted to kind of do this webinar just to kind of go over like some of the exciting things that are out there that are coming. And again, like I'm passionate about the product. So I always like to, get things out there and, kind of get everybody excited about what's coming, usually as excited as I am about what's coming. So let's kind of start with upgrade considerations. So for those of you that were on, 7.1.1 that were doing the jump to 8.0, that was a very kind of, I wouldn't say like mild upgrade. It was kind of similar to, one of their releases, that they do, the ones that the monthly releases. But 8.1 is a little different. So it's a much more significant upgrade than it was. 8.0 to 8.1 is much more significant than the 7.1 to 8 upgrade. So we're recommending that you do some pretty thorough testing on that. The other thing is that ensure your databases meet the minimum criteria. So SQL Server 2016 and above, Oracle 18C and above, SQL Server 2019, Oracle 19C, and Windows Server 2019 will be supported. So from a back-end technical perspective, there are some criteria and things that you need to be aware of when you're considering your 8.1 upgrade. And then the first thing that I kind of want to talk about, because everyone, when these enhancements documents start coming out, or these release documents start coming out from Deltek, they always get a little overwhelmed at how to approach this. So I wanted to kind of bring this up before we get too far into talking about, the enhancements and things like that, of just how to approach the enhancements documents. So Deltek always puts out on their Deltek, on their support site, these fantastic documents that will tell you what's up and coming. So what's going to be coming out, for 8.0, or what's going to be coming in for 8.1. So the way that you want to approach these documents is in kind of a methodical, and how they're going to affect your business is in a methodical kind of way. So what you would want to do is you're going to want to get the document, review the pre-release document. So when we say that, what we mean is review the table of contents by the module for the modules that your company uses. And if you don't use that module, then the enhancement doesn't affect you. So for example, if it was, say, the contracts module that was that had a bunch of enhancements, and you don't use the contracts module currently, you're not licensed for it, you wouldn't even want to have to worry. You wouldn't even worry about those. You would just set those aside. So the first thing you do is you kind of identify the modules that you use. The second would be, if you use the module, expand the section in the enhancements document to see what the enhancements are and potentially how they would affect you. And then, is the functionality changing? So if you're unsure about that, and you don't know, like you don't say do an area like AP isn't your specialty or something, pull in your SMEs, like get your SMEs involved and have them take a look at the enhancements document so that you can get a better feel for what this release will mean for you. And then if the functionality is changing, so you expand that section. And again, like I said, give that, let your SME or whoever like review the details of that enhancement. So I just kind of wanted to go over that just to get everybody kind of acclimated to how you approach the enhancements document. So the first thing that we're going to talk about in regards to enhancements is the accounting domain. So for those of you that are multi-currency entities and things like that, there's a lot of exciting things that are coming in that area. So the ability to have foreign exchange gains and losses can be posted on a project basis. So that's something that we haven't had before that we're looking forward to, because it adds so much more functionality for those of you that are doing multi-currency. Gain and losses will be reflected in more reports such as AP, AR history, and cash receipts. So again, another very exciting thing related to that. Project status report in billing currency. So you would be able to get, if the billing currency on a project was euros or something like that, you would be able to get that project status report in the billing currency. And then reversal journal entries allowed for not available periods. So you would be able to, so like currently right now, if you have an automatically reversing entry that's supposed to post into your next period, but it's not available yet, it will actually, you can put those in there now. So, because that used to be one of those things that always tripped us up during closing. Okay, in the projects domain, and this one I have to say we had to put it in red because this is very exciting, because we haven't had this before, and I can't wait to see like this functionality and like use it and see all of its great things, is the billing worksheet for standard bills. So similar to how we had a revenue worksheet for years, we will now have a billing worksheet to help us with that for standard bills. So that's again, that's a very exciting feature that's coming. Functional and project roles functionality with T&E and workflow integration. So again, this is another one where it's going to be, where we're going to be able to see and use these, functional roles and things that are going to be there for like our workflow for T&E, for things like that. So again, that's another really exciting feature that's coming. Project long name introduced natively 120 characters. So for those of you that have struggled at times with that project name field and the limitation of the 25 characters and how are you going to get in there, what you need and everything like that, Deltek has heard us and they are coming out, they're going to be giving us a long name. So that's again, for those of you that have struggled with that, the pain I'm talking about. So that's another very exciting one. The contracts module, which is another area which I have to say, if you haven't gotten into the contracts module yet, you should definitely take a look at it. Reach out to Deltek, get a demo, something like that, because the contracts module is one of my favorite newer modules that has come out. It's going to be known as CRM and contracts because they're adding a lot of the additional features to the kind of the CRM kind of area of it. The opportunities module, they're adding some CMMC fields, so you can track, kind of that as you're going through your opportunity area. The manage activity application, so track activities related to the CRM and contract screen. So when we talk about activities and the tracking, so it's those things where, like if you, from a, customer relationship management perspective. So if you have BD people or sales people that, they reach out, they have a conversation with somebody and they want to track that activity, they can track that activity within that contact area. And they can keep up with kind of the status of where they are, what they're doing, when was the last time they talked to the customer, everything like that. And in addition, the activities in the contracts area, they can track, like when they had, a kickoff or a kickoff call with a client, or if there was an issue with a contract, they can basically track any of the activities and communications and things that have been going on. So that's a a nice kind of added benefit that's coming. Task and resource information can be associated. So again, it allows us to put more of that tracking and things and associate things back into our contact and contracts and our everything like that. Opportunity assessments to analyze your bid decisions. So this is the GovWin IQ integration. So for those of you that may not be aware, you can interface GovWin IQ with the contracts module or the opportunities module, and it will pull in those items for you. So that's another, it's again adding to the features that are currently there in the contracts module and just making it more robust. Voice interaction. So this one I actually really can't wait to see, because it will allow, say I was a salesperson potentially, and I got in my car and I just had a great sales meeting with somebody. It will allow me to, do things based on, the voice interaction and stuff. And then org security potentially on the contracts module, which many of us have been looking forward to, so that we could kind of parse off, or keep people from seeing various things that they're not supposed to. So that's another one that we're excited about. And then the planning module, another one that I have to say I'm very excited for these changes to be coming, because I'm a big fan of the planning module. So org budgeting, profit and loss report. So that one's, again, there's already, and I don't know how many of you have seen the planning module in Costpoint, but there's already a robust set of reports and like dashboards and things that come with it already, but they're essentially adding some more reporting and things to the module. Org budgets can utilize reorgs. So I don't know how many of you have actually ever had to use a reorg, but sometimes, what happens is a company, they'll have their kind of standard org structure that they have set up in their system that attaches to all their transactions. And with reorgs, it allows us to kind of pick up those orgs, parse them together in a different way. And now we can budget by those reorgs. So that's another feature that I am very excited about, because it just allows you to do kind of some different things and do some look ahead. So you could say, if I wanted to reorganize the company like this, and, how would that look from a budget perspective and things like that. So again, that's kind of really exciting. Earn value functionality for project budgets. So that's another one that I'm, very excited to hear, see and hear about. And then this one, which I'm very excited for those of you that have ever gone through the budgeting process and perhaps forgot to run the process or have it as a scheduled job, to refresh the data, like between planning and Costpoint. The refresh is, according to the enhancements docs, will not be needed because it will be integrated with fully integrated with Costpoint. So from a time and expense perspective, again, some more exciting changes coming here. So the UDT real-time lookup from T&E to Costpoint. So we used to have the interface that would, you'd have to run to go back and forth, but now we will be able to look up things in the Costpoint, that are in the Costpoint, kind of core area from the T&E area, and not have to have that interface that's pushing it back and forth. UDT, so the project description. So again, we talked about the project long name. So that will now be able to be over into time and expense. There's also the automatic overtime calculations. So employees don't have to use the different pay types to try to get that. There's added functionality that is supposed to be able to allow us to, get those things to the right places. There's voice interaction with time entry. So this one I am very excited about, because again, like anything to make things easier for our massive employee population that's having to enter their time will be fantastic. Offline time entry is another one, and then mass approved by functional role. So that's another one where we'll be able to go in and kind of do, mass approvals or things where need be. We have adjustments to the supplier portal. So for those of you that have not made it out and seen the supplier portal yet, like if this is a new, module or functionality and things for you, I highly suggest that you do some research and some looking at this, because the supplier portal it's a great tool to allow basically you and your vendors to interact, and your vendors, to kind of see their purchase orders, see kind of what's going on from your side, and they can also, put information in there and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go way too far into all of these specific changes, but there's a lot of enhancements here. So RFQs sent to vendors through the portal, tighter integration with your vendor master, it enhances to the dashboards. There's just a lot of stuff that's coming being added to make the supplier portal more robust. And then other enhancements. So the single user locking for posting reports and other functions has been removed. So for those of you that have been having, those issues and struggling with those things, that's one of the things that's supposed to be coming along with 8.1. Launch emails and phone calls from Costpoint and enable text notifications. So again, if you've ever wanted to be able to like get text notifications or, like those interactions and things with the system, 8.1 is supposed to have like that options and allow you to do that. Voice actions. So we kind of talked about that, the Hey Deltek and everything like that. And I can't wait to do that, as much as I love my, and I'm not going to say it, my, thing that I have in my room that I can say, talk to and have it do stuff. So it's supposed to be similar to that, which would be fantastic. And then autocomplete will include codes and descriptions. So again, another, thing that I think Deltek heard, when we said, please give us these things, Deltek heard us. And then new reports and package enhancements in business intelligence. So again, the whole reporting requirement and BI and everything that we want to be able to do. So that's been enhanced also. So I would ask, if you have any questions, please enter them in the Q&A section.
Thanks, Susan. That was some fantastic information about what's coming in Costpoint 8.1. And again, if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and use the Q&A area within the Zoom window to enter those. We do have one question, Susan, that has come in already. That question is, can we go directly to 8.1 if we're on 7.1.1?
I believe you can, but there would be, it might be a more difficult path to get to 8.1. I would have to know kind of more of the specifics on that to be able to say whether I would recommend that or not.
Great, thank you. So we've got another question that's come in, which is, when is version 8.1 being released?
So the date on that, the last date I saw, I believe, for general release was supposed to be January of 2022. I believe it may be coming out earlier, but I would need to double check the most recent information, and that you can find on the Deltek support site. And that's where I would suggest that you go, just because in some cases, release dates can adjust and things like that. So I would recommend that you go to the Deltek support site to get the most up-to-date and current information on that.
Okay, great. A couple more questions have come in, Susan. One is, as a new customer, which Costpoint version is being implemented now?
As a new customer, it is 8.0 that is being implemented.
Okay, great. Another question has come in. For entering time into Deltek, if I have full-time employees that go over 40 hours in a week, will it now auto-populate the overtime?
No. So like you currently have in time collection or Deltek time, those things are based on your configuration. So your essentially your employee classes usually will help dictate like how things are applied. So that would be the same. So you wouldn't necessarily have your salaried employees that would have to have like overtime or something like that.
Great. We'll give the audience just a few more moments in case they have any final questions. And it looks like there are no further questions. So Susan, if you could advance to that. Oop, looks like one just came in right under the wire. So we'll take this one before we wrap up. With regards to time expense, does the mass approval function apply to timesheet approvals or something else?
The mass approval function, does it apply to timesheet approvals? Yes, it could be done for timesheet approvals or the expense approvals. Because it's by the function, so it's by the functional role.
Got
Maybe
it.
whoever, so what I would say is maybe whoever asked that question, send it to my email and I can follow up with more details. Because I have some further questions on that.
Okay, a couple more questions have just popped in. One is, will the recording of this webinar be available afterwards? Yes, we will make this available. We'll be putting this onto our website either later today or early tomorrow in the resources area of our website under on-demand webinars. So look for that. You'll be able to view this recording at that point. And another question is, in version 8.1, do you still need to export from Costpoint and import into time and expense?
So there is a direct connect in Costpoint 8.1, specifically how if you will have to do any import or export. I have not been able to, we haven't been able to see the actual how things work, but I believe the intent is that no, you would not have to. But again, until it is out, we will not know. I can't answer that definitively.
Great, thank you, Susan. So as she mentioned, if you have any additional questions later, after you think about this content, feel free to email Susan. Her address is there, susan.mitchell@neosystemscorp.com, or you can certainly visit our website, which is www.neosystemscorp.com. Again, please look out for other webinars coming up next month. We have another question that's come in just under the wire, so we'll go ahead and ask that before we conclude. The question is, could you expand a little bit more on the voice interaction into Deltek on entering time?
What I would say on that specific one is, and I don't have it right with me, is, and I can send it if you send me an email, I can send you the specifics, but look at the enhancements document to specifically say what it talks about in reference to the voice piece of entering time. Because again, I haven't been able to see that one work. I can only go off of what the enhancements document says at this point. So yeah, so that's what I would say. I can't expand, I haven't seen it in work yet.
Very good. So there are no remaining questions in the queue, Susan. So thank you very much for your time and a great presentation today. And thank you everyone who attended for your time. We hope you found some value and got some great information from this. And please keep an eye out for other upcoming events, which we'll be holding very soon. So that's it for today. And please enjoy the rest of your day and have a great week. Goodbye.
Thank you.